I felt like I was like doing some under a heat there for a while.
Yeah.
Welcome. How are you tonight? Good, how are you? Fantastic. Couple more commissioners to make this good, so. It's supposed to be zooming in here, so he'll hopefully jump on any minute, and we need one more. There we go, there's Tara.
The formatting is still kind of funky on this.
Good evening. Is that because you and I are probably using a different version, you think?
Because I had to add a new person
And Tara.
and it wouldn't let me.
Okay.
I mean, I can, if you don't care, I can mess with it,
Mess
do
with
something different. Okay.
fix however you fix it however you want.
I think Grace is still on there, but she's not.
Yeah, so Dr. Grace want to come off, and Tara's taking her place.
That fixed.
And I can help you spell my name too.
How would you spell it?
It's Tara,
In your last name?
SCHER.
Thank you.
Is Ben coming? Supposed to be online. I wanted this. It's traveling. Is Tracy coming? Hope so. Need one more.
The email with the agenda is helpful.
Huh?
The email with the agenda is helpful. Thanks.
You're welcome. Helpful reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because we had such a long break
Right.
over the winters. October was our last meeting, so. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes and see if we get. Shoot.
Just while we're waiting, did you see where, one of Trump's executive orders was to shut down all these DEI? That late. Hey, Sharon. All right.
Wait for one more commissioner to have quorum.
It's amazing when 33 degrees feels good.
Right? I can wear a coat in.
Is it supposed to stay up
Yeah,
tomorrow and then it's like?
it's supposed to creep up toward the weekend. Zoom number change? Will the Zoom number for this meeting change when you get a new Parks and Rec director?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, it should be the same, that you should get. Did everybody get a calendar invites for the 2025 year? Nobody did. Okay, should get a calendar invites, but if you ever don't, or if you ever can't find that, you can just go to the city's website. Click on, actually I had it up here, just gotta get to the right mouse. If you just go into government and virtual meeting instructions and click on that one, it's actually got every board commission meeting listed there, and then you can just click on that Zoom link. And if you are a panelist, if you're on that commission or whatnot, and you're logged into your normal Zoom account, it'll take you in as a panelist. If not, you'll just go in as a guest, but then whoever's running the meeting can promote you up to panelist. If you don't come in as such. Which maybe I should think like this.
A year into the second term, I never knew that.
They just,
We just did it.
I mean, it wasn't 5 years ago, but it wasn't yesterday that they did it either, so that they relisted all those and put them out there like that. 6 months, maybe something like that.
Oh,
that they
6 months,
listed.
okay, I'll put that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so.
All right. It's gonna say it's not ready.
Very nice job last night.
Thank you.
Good meeting.
Yeah, it was. Very important.
Well, for you commissioners that are here, can't hold an official meeting. But that doesn't mean that I can't share some information with you guys. We're not taking any votes or anything tonight anyways, so, maybe we'll just go ahead and do that, and if someone shows up, we can go ahead and do the whole open the meeting, call to order and all that kind of stuff, but in the meantime, in the interest of all your all's times, away from your families and such, first thing I'd like to do is welcome James Boyd. He is your new Parks and Recreation Director. Today is his very first day.
Wow.
So, I made you come in at 8 o'clock this morning and he's still here now, so everybody will good.
Where do you live? Where are you from?
We live in Wildwood, my wife and I.
Oh, terrific.
So this is James's actually third bite at the apple here at Webster. When I started about 11 years ago, he was working here as a recreation supervisor. And he left us and went out to Baldwin for a promotion out there for a couple of years. And then I hired him back and brought him back here as a rec manager 2 years after that. He worked for us for another 2 or 3 years. And then he left about 4 years ago to go out to the city of St. Peters, where he got another promotion to recreation superintendent. And then stole him back and brought him back again.
And
So,
I'm very excited to be back.
Good for you.
yeah, so James is pretty fantastic. I'm really happy he's back. He did great work for us the last couple times. Throw it to you.
Did you track him down or did he just show up?
He kind of tracked me down a little bit. Actually, the parks out before I let him speak, I'll jump into the process. We had 35 plus applicants for the Parks and Recreation job, which is pretty fantastic. We have not been getting that many for some of our other city applicants as open positions, so that was great. And it wasn't 35 folks that work at Burger King, nothing wrong with Burger King, but it was some qualified people. So we offered eight first round interviews. We had one back out. We interviewed 7, and then a second round interview. And James was, rose to the top, cream of the crop out of that group. So we had some nationwide people, Colorado and other parts, New York, Indiana. So it wasn't just local folks. There was a lot of local interest as well too. But James had to do some work to pull it out. So we're excited and looking forward to new things.
Well, I'm very, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, and I'll tell you the reason why. I'm married, my wife and I have 2 little kids. Mackenzie is almost 2.5, and Brady turned 5 months old yesterday. He started daycare, so hospital for germs. So, yeah, so I've been not contagious or anything, but like Scott said, Webster Groves is kind of, I feel like my home away from home, and I truly mean I came back for my second round interview, and it was just so surreal coming back, and today's just been amazing. Like, so I'm excited to dive in head first and get to know you all, and work together. And I started in Parks and Recreation when I was 14 years old, working part-time, like instructional soccer, kind of typical teenager type thing, and kind of just grew to love it. And I remember talking to my boss, the rec supervisor, and I'm like, what do you do? And I was kind of like, when I was 16, I was like, I'm gonna be a Parks and Rec director. And I went to college and got my degree in that. And funny enough, I moved here 15 years ago-ish, whatever. I found my wife, she works for the city of the Pear, she's the recreation superintendent there. So we're married now, so we're true Parks and Rec couple, and we bleed it. So we have interesting conversations. But I am really excited to be back in Webster, and like I said, get to know all you all, work with you. If you're out running.
Great. Guess want to do introductions for yourself, and
I'm Tara Shear, so I'm on the Parks and Rec Commission as a liaison to the school board, so I serve on the school district school board.
she's actually a voting member, so liaison. She is the school board liaison. Karen and I are both. Well, actually, Karen, you now are also liaisons, but she's a voting member.
Okay.
I'm Kate Krieger, sorry, just our names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our commission
I take
secretary.
notes.
All right.
I'm Dan Meehan. I've been with a little over a year, maybe 2 years now with the commission.
Closer to it.
Yeah.
Karen Alexander, city council member, and I'm in my second term on the city council, so I'm liaison to the Parks and Rec.
And then Mr. Buck, you kind of talked to about a little bit a while ago. One of our and then Mike Johnson is online, another one of our commissioners. So let's see, other James. Well, James jumped right into it today. We really need him to start today because we had a mid-year budget today review. And so we met with finance director and city manager's office and Parks and Rec staff to go over our mid-year review. Everything's looking really good for us right now. All of our revenues are trending really well, right in line with where they should be. Our expenses are actually running a little under right now, but that's typical this time of year because we spend a lot of money in springtime prepping ball fields, getting parks ready to go. Day camp staff comes on board, when lifeguard comes on board, that kind of stuff. So we spend more money in the late spring, early summer than we typically do in the fall, winter. So revenue expenses both looking really well for us. Water park is growing pretty well out there. They poured the cop pool walls last week. So as soon as they pull those forms off, that'll really actually look like a pool now, which is pretty cool. We'd ever warm up and get rid of some snow, they'll start excavating, they have started a little bit, but finish excavating the leisure pool, the middle pool, and get going on forming the floor and walls on that for that soon. all the big ticket items are in production, the slides are all in production, solar canopy over the, kind of stadium seating, which will look a lot like the new football field student section, those concrete terraces. We'll have a section of seating out here that will look very similar. There's a solar canopy that goes over the top of that. That'll be, I guess, 37 solar panels on top of that canopy. They'll provide shade structure and some electricity for us. That's big ticket item, that's in production. The pool house, bathhouse building, all the demos done on that, they're starting construction on that, so, there's typical construction hiccups, there's the typical process of building something for $12 million, but everything's on target and still on board for, being finished by early May, so we'll have time to open it, prep it, be ready to go for Memorial Day weekend. So pretty excited. Other Prop W stuff, there's a spreadsheet here, if you'd like. Kind of our normal tracking spreadsheet. I have not updated this on the city's webpage yet, but we'll be doing so. It just kind of lists out, it's the same spreadsheet that we've had for a while, it lists out all the different projects. But it's starting to see some costs and stuff going there to that third column. So we've expended almost $6 million so far. Almost all that's pool. But we have, we've got a little bit going with some restroom work out in the parks. The ice rink is getting ready to spin up and kick off that construction process. We're probably 60–70% through the design phase on that now, and are still hoping that we can start that construction in March of this year. So we'll shut down the ice rink here in another 6 weeks or so. It'll be closed through probably end of August to do that work in there. And then now that James is on board and I've got some help and I'm not trying to juggle 2 jobs at the same time, which I can tell you I've done more homework in the last 2 months than I've done in the last 25 years. I felt like I was back in college, literally doing homework every day. We'll get cracking on a lot more of those public input projects that we've been talking about. I haven't had, and I keep beating myself about it because we haven't had them yet, but we'll get on those here real soon for skate park, for splash pad over at Ivy Crockett, and start the process for the public input on the performance park, which is kind of the big unknown. The skate park and the splash pad, I don't think there's anything too controversial or unknown there. I mean, obviously we still have to design them and such, and the splash pad, how big it'll be is still some unknowns, but it's not like the performance park where we know that A, where's it gonna go, B, how big is it gonna be, C, what it can use for, all those things that we really need a whole lot of resident input on those. The other big news about the Prop W is that my notes went away. Yesterday was actually our bond sale day. So we officially sold the first set of our bonds that y'all passed, gave approval for in April. So we sold a little more than $17 million yesterday. Interest rates came in pretty good for us. We've got between a 4% and 5% spread. So we're going to pay 5% interest on the first several years, and then it drops down to 4% interest farther out in the process. It was one of the first municipal bonds to go out for sale this year, which put a lot of interest on it in the market. And so we actually got a pretty good deal. The company that bought them from us to turn around and sell them to their institutional investors actually kicked in some sweetener for us. So we got several $100,000 extra as a sweetener for it. So that'll go back into the project money list to allow us hopefully to do bigger, better things as we go down the road on that. So that was, I just found out about that last night, so it was pretty exciting. I was like, we got how much extra money? And don't quote me on that, I should have written it down, but it was somewhere in the neighborhood of like $700,000 addition funds, which is pretty cool. So,
Ask a question.
Yeah.
Even though it's not an official meeting.
sure.
But 2 city council meetings ago, you presented like your recreational fee recommendations. I'm just curious, are those moving forward?
They are.
Right, great.
So council approved, you guys all made a recommendation to council on the fee increases for 2025. Council approved them. You know, council had good discussion about them, the same way you guys did about particularly about the non-resident water park fee going up to $15. But same way you guys landed on it, it's a lot. Not that much as opposed, it's a big increase for us, but in the countywide, it's right kind of in the middle of those prices. So council approved all those. We've already put them into effect for any future sales on whether they're field rentals or aquatic sales for this year. And we're phasing those in now for memberships and stuff for folks that are buying new memberships moving forward. So, yeah, cool. That's majority of my items.
Looking at this list, I see that solar, is that what you were talking about before, over the bleachers?
So- Yeah, both actually. So when we originally put this project list kind of out, you know, we just threw that dollar number on there. That was to hopefully do some stuff in the water park, but also on top of the roofs here at this building, which would be our biggest bang for a buck, but also out in some of the other parks as well. So that 140,000 doesn't actually include what we're doing on the water park. I got that built into the water park project. So we've still got that 1.4 dog year here to go to other projects. I would imagine if we covered the entire ice rink roof line, we'd probably be sitting somewhere in the $800,000 range to cover that as well. But that doesn't include any of the rebates we get back, which are up to 30% rebate, federal rebates. So and then we'll go out for like an Ivy Crockett, we put the splash pad out there, probably be putting in the bathroom house there. We'd like to cover those with solar panels and they provide power to run hand dryers and pumps and stuff in the splash pad. So anywhere out like that out in the park, so we can put projects that make sense too.
And the one here would help to power the ice rink.
The whole building, this whole building's really on one electric service. So yeah, it'll run, you know, the ice rink, the pool in the summer, ice rink in the winter. So I'm hoping to get somewhere in the 40% power generation for this facility, which is be pretty huge long term.
Yep. And then the LED lights, looks like they're ready to go.
They are. So we have quotes in hand and just need to pull the trigger on those to get those up and running.
And the 30% rebate on the solar.
Yep.
For alternative energy use, is that a tax credit or is that, what is that?
So it used to be a tax credit, but with the Inflation Reduction Act that Congress passed 3 years ago, they actually included that governments can now get an actual check back because we don't pay taxes.
Uh-huh.
So it's no longer a tax credit. They'll actually cut us a check back. The IRS actually cut us a check even though we don't pay taxes. So, you know, if we put that $1 million in there, they'll cut us a $300,000 check back to us. Which then we'll dump right back into this private. So used to be that municipalities would oftentimes not buy this system. We would basically allow, and this is what my brother does, that's why I know he sells solar up in New Hampshire, Massachusetts area. So his company would come in and they would actually own all the equipment and they put them on top of your building, and then you'd enter in a contract with them to buy all power from them off of those solar panels at a discounted rate to what you're currently paying Ameren UE or whatever, and you lock it in for 20 years at you know, if you're paying Ameren a quarter, you pay them 15 cents for the same amount of power. You lock in at that 15-cent rate for the next 20 years. And then they would be able to turn around and collect that tax rebate from the IRS because they're not a government entity. With that Inflation Reduction Act, they just bypass all that, so we can buy them ourselves, and repay ourselves. So pretty good, pretty sweet right there. Other than the fact that now we're gonna own the equipment, so if it breaks, we gotta replace it. Where the other way, they you gotta license.
Any concerns that might go away?
I don't think so. I talked with our auditors last week about that actually, since we've already contracted and purchased the canopy that's going over the pool. We could have, we still could if the new administration somehow changes something and says that governments can no longer get that credit, but it went through Congress and it was passed and approved, so it had to go back to Congress and they would have to rewrite a law to not do it, which I'm not saying they can't do that because who knows, but we'd have time if they did that for to go ahead and buy the stuff before they repealed it or whatever. That's all I have. I'm happy to answer any more questions.
Yeah, I have a question. It is on the performance park, which is like budgeted the second most expensive project on Prosperity after the aquatic center, $2.5 million. I'm just curious, you know, on the schedule, I think we're like halfway into both the public input process, but I haven't seen any thing or meetings
We haven't done it.
or surveys for, will that be coming up? Good.
Yeah, and I actually changed the schedule. So if you look on the website, the schedule's been changed because of the water park has taken a significantly longer amount of time than I anticipated in the design phase. So because of that longer design phase timeline, we had to move on to some of the other projects to start those. They'll still happen. It's just running behind. Now that I got a new right-hand man to take over my old workload so I can do the new workload. Hopefully I can make that time happen.
I'm not a big fan of the performance park, but I look forward to input sessions.
Do you have any updates that you'd like to give?
Yeah.
Yes.
The, last year, there was, and there will be again this year, just, a request that the commissions complete, your report. And you know what? I don't have a copy of that.
I can send it out. So.
Okay, if you send out, basically what you're gonna do is just, communicate, you know, what your activities were last year, what you plan on doing this year coming up. If there were any budget requests, what that would be. I think that for, what we're doing is providing you a copy of what you submitted last year so that you can see what that is. And we're asking that you guys, you know, take a look at that and have it done by March. Because so that we can, take all of that into consideration as we, complete the budgeting process. So, yeah, we will be emailing out.
I'll email that out, and what we'll probably need to do, since our next scheduled meeting is not until the end of March, is if any, I'll phrase it in such a way when I send it out, if any commissioners have any ideas for budgets they think we would need, and we probably need, in addition to what we had last year, we probably want to put another meeting on in February to discuss. I think this commission had $1,000, and we haven't historically spent that because I spent most of the stuff out of Parks and Rec budget, not the commission budgets. But if there was something that you all thought that you wanted to do, and it would be in addition to some, you know, if you wanted to bring in guest speakers and pay an honorarium or something like that, then we could put a second meeting on. So I'll send something out here in the next week or so about that, in case anybody wants. Otherwise, I'll just submit for the same stuff. Well, I'm saying James will submit for the same amount, which is what most commissions typically do.
And then the only other thing is if, I mean, you're not familiar or aware, so last night we did have the final vote for the KDC project at the old airport. So I guess I aged myself when I call it that.
I know where you're going.
You know, okay.
I was here when you were.
Okay, and so that did pass. And so we'll be moving forward with the developments and the things that are gonna be done at that facility.
Anybody have any other comments?
I just have one.
Yeah.
So the next meeting, it is on my calendar, so I guess something was sent out. Is March 26th,
Yes, ma'am.
and that is over spring break. So
Ah.
just anybody who's gonna be out of town, which I will be.
I hope to be.
Sounds like we ought to change that
I
date.
would make it the week before or the week.
We will send out a doodle poll, to see which date might work better, week before, week after. Thank you for that, I was not aware.
You said late March, I thought I'm just gonna check the calendar, and sure enough, it's great.
You guys doing smart fun, they have to take it.
I got another thing real quick. Scott knows, I'm an advocate for the indoor pool. City council has put it on hold for 3 years, and I understand that. But I'm not gonna let it go. I mean, you know, and new information kind of continues to come up. I think in support of it, I'm gonna be very gentle. I'm not gonna be a creep about it, because I want to respect city council's position to put it on hold for 3 years. But, you know, I'm still gonna advocate for it. And then the other thing is that, I think I sent an email around just to get Parks and Rec approval for our 3rd annual community dog walk is gonna be Saturday, May the 24th. We've always had it, begins and ends at Old Orchard in Seagull Park. But because it's in the park, you know, I've always kind of asked for permission to have it there. It lasts an hour and a half, in fact, we're only in the park, maybe 15 minutes, but we're walking around the neighborhood, but so it's kind of FYI, but you know, if you guys wanna.
If you gotta wanna reserve the park, you can reserve the park or rent it, or if you just want, I don't know if there's anything else booked, probably not in the park that day,
Yeah,
but
it's early in the morning, it's like 8 to 9:30. If you come, you get free Starbucks coffee. Dogs get free pup cups, you know, so. Got fun. Oh, and last thing, no, this is the last, I'm sorry, and this comes from, I have 10 grandkids and, they're all swimmers and stuff, and they love the pool. But I told them about the stand-up slide that's really unique, and it's gonna be the second one in the state. I've been to Kansas City, is that right, Scott? Yep. And there's, we're gonna have one. But they've asked a lot of questions about it. And they go online and they do research, and it's like, I'm just saying is that some of what they're finding out is that for kids or little kids, it's a tough thing to use. Correct. You have to be a certain height in order to stand up and benefit from the thing. And so it may not be all age kid friendly, that's all I'm saying. But you got the other 2 slides.
5 other slides.
Or 5 other slides.
That they can slide on. if they
Yeah,
look
so
at it.
it's just a way.
Yeah. All right, well, non-meeting adjourned.
It's nice meeting you all.
Thanks for staying.
Well, you're welcome.
Oh, wait, hey, one other thing, well,